All right, we're going to do a collection overview. It is February 2022, which means I'm ready to unveil and offer for sale my Ghost of Spring collection. So we're going to start with this piece. This is Lake Reflection. All of these are 8 by 11 folded Arteza frames. So they are made of paper. The paint wraps around each one of them, and you can see the paper backing. These are made with acrylic and ink. You can see there is some iridescent sheen. Let's see, there we go. Iridescent sheen, and this has more than most. There's also a tremendous amount of black and white ink work. One of my favorite things about this is the line work, the horizontal and vertical lines. It gives it a lot of texture and a lot of vibrant life. Even with the dark background. So this is definitely one of my Monet reminiscent pieces. This is Lake Reflection. I'm going to try and go quickly, so if you have questions, please feel free to ask them. I'm trying to find the other Monet one. This is Water Lilies. Yes, here we go. This is Water Lilies. This is very iridescent, again. That blue shining background without the light. It is not as iridescent. There you go. So that's without the light, with the ring light. This one has a lot of black ink work in all the details, in all the divots of the acrylic paint that had peeled up to give it that bit of delicious and wonderful texture. Again, Monet was a huge influence on me as a young person, and it never stopped. So I have done this one in particular as kind of a homage to the master in my own style. And this one again is Water Lilies. The reflection of the Lake Reflection. So here's the reflection. And here, oh, it's the one upside down. Upside down. Here we go. Okay. So this is meant to be the reflection of this piece. And this one is the oh gracious, this is the Cilia and Pussy Willows. And the Distillium is the purpley blue flowers. The Cilia is the leaves. And of course the creamy yellow is our Pussy Willow on this. Again, 8 by 11 folded frame. This one has very little iridescent. You can tell there's some iridescent just above the tips of the flowers. There's a lot of white ink work on this piece. And it's very indicative of kind of the shadows that we all go through while we wait for spring to erupt again in our lives. But it's the seeing of the signs of spring. So I really like this one. This is Cilia and the Pussy Willow, which kind of pairs with our Lake Reflection. One of the first pieces off the table was the Nest. This one again has a tremendous amount of iridescent and metallic shine. It is the Nest without the light. It still looks rather shiny. And this is one of those nests that you find in like a bush, and you see the signs of spring. You're starting to hear all the birds again. You see pops of this one has orange pops, very subtle orange pops, and I like it because you kind of have to look for those. There we go. There's some of those orange pops. So there's those little secret hidden texture details. You see the black ink work up close. A lot of details being highlighted and shadowed. There's some white ink work as well. It's more smudged, so it's not quite as in your face, but it's there. Okay, so this is the Nest. This is the other floral because I love florals and I can't help myself. This is the Crocus and Snowdrops. This has not quite as much iridescent, but it does have these beautiful gold marking color pops. See, oh yeah, there you go. And that's throughout. You have to get the light just right there. You go to see it throughout the leaves and the tips. This one is more of a bold piece than the others. This is, again, crocus and snowdrops. I love the purple. I love that winter purple. And just see it popping through, heralding the beginning of spring. As a pagan, when we talk about spring, there's always that phallic representation. And this is it. This is it. And it is that piercing of the veil and the cyclic attitude and cyclic nature of our existence of being. And so this one has a more masculine heaviness to it. You can see the definitive representation. There is a lot of black detail ink work, and you see the white in there as well. This one has a lot of tremendous black ink work. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely not as iridescent at all. This is definitely more the masculine balance to all of the other pieces in the collection. And I'm just calling it phallic because I feel like that's appropriate and it makes me smile. All right. Next is one of my favorites. This one I'm calling Forgotten Flowers. Let me see if I can get the light right because it's way more orange. There we go. I had to tilt it away a little bit. This one is very orange. There we go. Now we can see the orange. It does have the iridescent highlights. It is not very metallic in the background. I'm going to turn the light back so I can show you the details though. There you go. That's a more appropriate orange. But this one, you can see the flow and the texture in the acrylic. You can see the tremendous amount of white ink work on this one. You see the black ink in the background. Through all the details, all the stamps and the splatters and the textures and the leaves. And this one is the Forgotten Flowers. Again, this is orange. There we go. See the orange. I want to get the colors right. Don't want to lie to you. Let's see. We'll do my favorite next. So this is my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite piece of the collection. This is the rib cage of spring, and it actually there's a little teeny tiny heart right there, and it's very representational of the idea that even though the ground looks empty and everything looks hollow, it's the idea that everything will regrow. So even though we go through difficult and traumatic experiences and we may feel empty and hollow, we are about to bloom and grow again. And so this was very meaningful to me. There is, I'm going to turn the light back so I can show you the details. There is not iridescent in this. The shine that you see is actually the Indian ink in the background. There's a lot of light and dark work with this. A lot of black ink, and that's the shine that you see is actually the Indian ink. It is not metallic or iridescent. Okay. Favorite piece of the collection is the rib cage. Two more to go. Let's do our slumbering nettles. As you can see, this one definitely has that glorious, wonderful shine. Again, without the light, it is not quite as shiny, but you do see the flare, the details, those nettle leaves and the vibrant gold yellow that pops throughout. So there's a lot of details in this. The pop of color is the purple markings on the leaves with the yellow gold highlights. And this one is slumbering nettles. I love this. The color mixture and then the hidden textural details in the leaves, it's glorious. I love this. I love them all. I love them all. And then our last one from the collection is what everybody else is calling the dream catcher, so I decided to call it the dream catcher too. This has, again, another sheen, very highlight, metallic, iridescent. And it has far more pops of color than the others. So this one was definitely a feeling one. So you see the purple highlights throughout. Very, very heavy-handed on this one. Not as, not quite. Still have all the delicious, wonderful texture. And there's a lot, get the light out of it. There's a lot of white ink work on this in particular. There you go, you can see. Wonderful highlights of that white ink work. There we go. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful. And so this one is the Dreamcatcher. So, just to review, we have the Dreamcatcher. We have Slumbering Nettles. We have my favorite, the rib cage that I had upside down. The rib cage, there we go. We have water lilies. We have our crocus and snowdrops. Let's see the highlights. Love the secret highlights. This one is the lake reflection. Let me see if I can grab. It's on the bottom. This one is our Cilia and pussy willows, which relates to the reflection. First one hot off the presses, the nest. I really like this with the shine and without the shine. There's different levels of details that you can see depending on what light hits it. The forgotten flowers are beautiful orange flowers. And last but not least, our wonderful phallic representation, the rebuilding of springtime and life. And that is my Ghosts of Spring collection. So thank you very much for going through this process with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Ko-fi. I'm going to post this up, and these will be available for sale later today. Thank you so much.